Tyler.
Hey, what's up, Mark?
Yeah, give me 1 second. This. Okay, that's better. So it's recording. So this isn't going to be like, well, we'll see, but I didn't think it'll be too much of a long video. So those of you guys on YouTube, do you hear me fine, Tyler?
Yeah, I hear you. Okay,
sweet. So those guys on YouTube should know Tyler. If you don't know who he is, I did a video with him maybe a week or two ago. I'll put the link above. And he is a friend of Matt Gambrell. I did a video with him like 2 or 3 days ago, who is like pretty much a legend at Amazon dropshipping. And he helped Tyler set up. He's helping Tyler. I assume he's helping you like train the VAs and stuff to do what they need to do. And I don't really want to go into. I want to talk just briefly about like your experience with Amazon so far, not necessarily strategies and that type of stuff, but just like general experience. How long have you been doing it? How long it take to grow the account? And then if you could give me any comparisons with like eBay.
Yeah, so I guess I've been doing Amazon now for maybe 5 months.
Okay.
And my past 30 days is actually I have it on my phone. I'll just share it right now on the screen. My past 30 days is almost 290K. So I don't know if you can see that.
Jesus fuck, yeah, I see it.
Yeah, so it's crazy how much it's slowed down though recently. eBay has also slowed down a little bit too.
Because of Christmas, like people not ordering, Christmas. Right? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it should pick back up though. I feel like people just stop buying once you get closer to Christmas because they've already done their shopping or whatever.
Right.
But
and then Christmas is a Monday now, so and some people they don't expect to get deliveries over the weekend and stuff. So.
Yeah. So 5 months is how long I've been doing Amazon.
And you shared a post in the Honest Dropshippers group. No, like I think it was like one where you hit like 200 or 212,000 or something.
Yeah, that was on eBay. I shared the post I shared on Honest Dropshippers had the Amazon phone screenshot and the eBay screenshot with it. So that's all.
Okay.
On there, yeah.
I'll put a link so any guys watching the video could see that post.
Yeah, so it started off Amazon's weird because with eBay you kind of have to build the account a little bit, and it's like if you list 1,000 items on eBay, you're not going to get like sales like someone who's listed 1,000 items over time, right?
Right.
With Amazon, it's like if you're starting a new account, well, to a point because you have to have an account old enough to be able to win the buy box.
Right.
And that's something that Matt can teach people how to do, whatever. But it's basically after 90 days of selling, that's when you're able to start getting the buy box.
So it took you 90 days to get the buy box?
For me, I actually did private labeling before I started doing. So I was able to get the buy box like right away because of the fact I had already done the private labeling, like importing from China, and I was selling cornhole lights. And actually, it was a pretty successful. Yeah, it was pretty successful. I just stopped because I got way too into drop shipping. And it was a hassle. It was a hassle packing everything up and putting labels on it, whatever. But so I already had like a seasoned Amazon account.
Mm-hmm.
And Amazon is actually they actually treat you better in terms of like they're not a suspect of you if you've done private labeling in the past and then go into drop shipping. Because a lot of times, like people who are drop shipping on Amazon end up having issues and their accounts can get shut down.
Right.
Whatever. And
I had that issue and Matt was able to help me get it back.
Yeah, he's got a lot of experience. I know in the video he said he's on 12 different occasions he's had accounts suspended, but so I actually started with like a really good account, on Amazon, and I was winning the buy box right away, and it was basically just to get back to the point of 1,000 items. Like if you list 1,000 items on Amazon, you're gonna see sales like right away, like 1,000 items worth of sales. Whereas eBay, you have to kind of grow
and build up, and
I feel like eBay puts brakes on people almost. Like they're like, oh wait, slow down your sales, you're new.
I feel like I have no evidence of that, but I've seen it happen too many times to like not believe it.
Yeah, exactly. So like I say, Amazon is just about the number of items you have and which listings you're on and what your margin is.
Yeah.
So it's you start very fast on Amazon, and it's almost to the point where you're not really prepared for it and even when someone tells you like what to expect, it's kind of like you just have to experience all the frustrations and everything of like Amazon holding your money, for example. You don't realize how much that's going to actually affect you until your sales start growing. And
to 200 fucking $1,000.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, they're holding. I have to have payability right now.
Right.
And I'll talk about that in a second. But I want to talk about like the first major issue I had with Amazon was actually almost stopped me from wanting to do drop shipping on there altogether. When I first put payability on my Amazon account. What happened was Amazon thought someone hacked into my account and changed all the bank account information and everything like that on the account. So I think it was close to $5,000 worth of pending orders on Amazon that my VA team had already placed the orders on Walmart. So I had $5,000 worth of orders, and I couldn't get into my account to see what was going on because Amazon was locking me out. And the customer support for Amazon is so like the seller support is so much harder to deal with than
they don't play
eBay. Yeah, they don't play, and they don't give. They have like lots of barriers. Like,
they don't give information. It's not like they just like
one person, then you got to talk to another person, then you got to whatever. So
like you need clearance or something.
Yeah, and so once I got into my account, 2 days later, I saw every single order was canceled, right? And all of these items were already shipped out from Walmart to the customers on Amazon, right? It was $5,000 worth of items. Eventually, Amazon said, put together an Excel sheet, show us the shipping information, whatever. And they actually paid me back for every single item that had shipped out. Yeah, they paid me back for every single one, and they made the situation right. But it was mind-blowing to me that Amazon would just jump the gun and automatically assume, because I changed my bank account information on there, because that's what you have to do with payability,
right, that
it was like someone hacked into my account, and they thought that like someone was going to try to get my money transferred to their bank account, whatever, and thought the orders were fake. And it was crazy that happened, and I was freaking out a little bit because this was when I had just recently quit my job, and it was like wow, Yeah, and on top of that, like the week I put in my 2-week notice at work, I actually got a 7-day restriction on eBay. So it's like all these things were happening at the very beginning of like when I decided to quit my job. So
everyone at your job is just waiting to find out if this motherfucker is gonna last, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I was starting to have my doubts too. But the Amazon thing, that was kind of nuts. And luckily, Matt.
So, go ahead.
Matt talked me down from like the edge and the ledge. I was ready to jump off Amazon for sure, and then I'm happy I stayed with it. It's crazy. I said, I'm glad Amazon made it right.
How long it took for Amazon to get you this money back? Like how long were you like fuck, what am I doing?
I think it was like maybe 2 weeks.
Jeez, total. That's a long time.
Yeah. Well, imagine having like, $20,000 in orders. Luckily, I was small then, so I was just starting. So it was only a couple days worth of orders, But that's the kind of stuff that can happen on Amazon that, you just got to be prepared and you got to stay calm. And like I said, Amazon ended up making it right in the end. Yeah. But yeah, for some people, they can't afford to have $5,000 just out there.
Yeah, exactly. Most people, I would assume that most people watching this video can't just lose $5,000, right?
Yeah. And I was mentally preparing myself on day 3. I was like, all right, I'm probably going to eat this 5K, but in the grand scheme of things, I want to make $100,000 a month one day. So 5,000 right now is nothing,
So and have you, this is surprising to me because have you heard about that before?
So with the accounts Matt had told me about before, he said that he was like, I was worried about them canceling the order. So Matt was kind of like at the very beginning saying, you don't need to worry about it. Amazon doesn't cancel orders like that. Like they're just putting your account on hold. They think someone hacked into it, all that. So no, Matt hadn't heard of it before happening like that.
Okay.
So I guess it was just, it was a weird situation. But yeah, I mean, like I said, it got fixed, it got resolved. So it's nothing that I think people should be worried about.
Right.
It's gonna be like you're in the end, you're gonna get what you deserve, which I got my $5,000 back. So it was good.
And I like talking about all of these like barriers and hiccups, right? Because like too many people, all the people that fail only talk about the barriers, and most of the people who succeed only talk about the success, right? But it's interesting when people who have found success talk about the madness, so that like the only time you'll fail is when you give up, right? So the guys who like thinking about giving up will be like, okay, there is like light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
Or there may be, at least.
And it helped me too, because like I had someone to look up to for, experience with it. Yeah. And like I said, like keep me calm on the whole situation. I really trusted Matt's word on everything, like his opinion on how Amazon worked. And now like everything's been pretty smooth since then. I haven't had any issues, anything like that with the Amazon seller support where like I've had to contact them or anything like that. It's literally been smooth like since that point.
Okay.
And the crazy thing about the whole Amazon selling though, drop shipping, is like I said, Amazon holding the money and you having to find the capital. Yeah. So the capital requirements for Amazon are insane. Like you can't grow your business if you don't have money, or if you don't have payability, if you don't have like lines. And
the thing is, to get payability, you need to have sold a certain amount. So you need, like, you can't, and that's what I want. I wanted to bring that up, especially like when we put out match training, right? I don't want just like anyone to just spend the money and buy the training. I was telling Matt about that. Like you need to have some money to get going, because this is a whole different game. I mean, you can make way more money, but
you have to, and this is, Matt would not help me with Amazon until like I had proven myself with eBay.
Right.
So it's like you have to be a successful dropshipper almost on eBay. If you can't be successful on eBay, there's like absolutely no chance. I mean, that's just the truth of the matter.
You think so?
Like, people think that someone's going to come along and solve all their problems, whatever, because they can't get it going on eBay, and they think that like the traffic's the issue. They think like all these other things are issues. They're going to be just completely screwed on Amazon if they're not at least making $1,000 a month on eBay, let's say.
Just to be able to sustain a business, right? To be able to deal with the ups and downs and the nonsense, and that's a lot of what I try to cover on the channel, because I think that people being prepared for that is one of the more important things about success, as opposed to like, you can know what to do, but the second your emotions takes you and like throws you on your ass, that's it, right?
Yeah, no, you're right. It's crazy. But going back to the capital requirements, I wanted to bring this up and like kind of give people an idea of how serious it kind of is. So with payability, they hold 20% of your money, right? They pay you as soon as the item is shipped. So like if I sell a $100 item today and I upload tracking tomorrow, then payability is going to give me 80% or $80. Let's just say it's $100 after Amazon fees.
Right.
So payability is going to give me $80, and then they're going to hold $20 in a reserve, right?
Right.
So.
And how long is the reserve?
What's that?
How long is the reserve?
So the reserve it's whatever the balance is in Amazon. So Amazon pays every 2 weeks, right? So if Amazon pays $100K, then they'll release $20,000 like from the reserve or whatever, Right. So like whenever Amazon pays that money. So right now I have close to $40,000 in my payability reserve that I can't touch. And on top of that $40,000 that I can't touch, I have another, I think it was 200 and something orders on Amazon, 214 orders right now on Amazon pending. And plus other ones that like I guess the tracking sometimes there's a lag too in like what they pay you if the tracking doesn't show like
they will miss the 2 weeks and then you have to wait an extra 2 weeks. So sometimes it's a month.
So I have 40,000 in my reserve, and then I have about 35,000 on like coming to me that payability is gonna front me from Amazon. So I've got $75,000 out there right now that I can't use at all for my business. So just that, I mean, it's funny, but it's like you don't realize this like until it happens. You know what I mean? Like until you get to that point, you're just like you think everything's going smoothly, and then you have to figure out a way to grow. And if you don't have money or credit lines or anything like that, you're not going to grow. So without payability, and I've been thinking about how I can cut back on using payability, and I've had offers for people to share their lines of credit with me and whatever and take a percentage, and it's just like I don't know how many people I want to get involved.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Whatever, like it's pretty crazy, but you have to really be creative with keeping track of your money and
making it work,
like to buy products.
And that's the thing, because if payability helps, right, but it's not 100% solved problem. Because if you were to scale your business without payability and only Amazon, you would need way more credit, no?
Yeah, you would have to have like an unlimited charge card for like probably like an Amex Plum or whatever. Like my gold card, my Amex Gold, I've only got a $69,000 credit line. So I mean, like I max that out and pay it off, max it out, pay it off, like regularly. But it's wild, and it's funny too because like 2 weeks ago, I was looking at my accounts and I was just doing like a balance sheet of all my money, and I was like, wait, I'm missing like 70 grand. Where's this? And then I called Amex. None of my payments had gone through because they were too large. Like at a time, like I was doing like $30,000 payments on my credit cards, whatever, at a time. And they had to call the bank and have a 3-way conversation and get my like my payments verified that it was coming
strange.
from.
I actually didn't know. I have never had that problem until like a week ago with one of my Chase cards. Like I made a big payment and they're like, can I call the bank? I was like, sure, but I've never done that before.
Yeah, so then I figured out, like there was this lag time in when Amazon pays payability. So that was like extra money that I didn't realize I, should have been counting in my balance sheet. And then also the credit cards. So it's like when you're running a business like the eBay and Amazon business together, everything kind of you have to try your best to keep records. You're not going to do it 100%.
Right.
Efficiently especially when you're just focused on growing, and not really focused on like that's the hardest part. And like for example, when I first started eBay, I didn't care about the records as much as I did just about generating sales. Like I kept some really sloppy, spreadsheets, whatever. So now I've got to go back and figure out all that stuff for tax purposes. Like the first 3 months I drop shipped, and then I realized after that I was going to take it more seriously, and I knew once tax time came, if I didn't get my shit together now, then it was just going to be a complete mess. So I mean, it's only
my first year was a mess. Like look at going back through this, like 5 different Walmart accounts, trying to figure out what cards I use for what. If I use gift cards, I had to find it took. I want to say maybe like, if I remember correctly, maybe 6 weeks of like 3-4 hours every single day getting that shit together.
No, it's brutal. And I try to use GoDaddy bookkeeping helps a lot. And you can actually link Amazon Seller Central to GoDaddy bookkeeping as well. So, I mean, that's helped me a lot. But I mean, did you have any other questions about like Amazon or anything like that with specifically?
No, I want to kind of compare the difference in Amazon and eBay, but we just kind of naturally went that direction, right? And okay, one of the like obvious questions: what type of margins you talking about? And I know the exact margin. Like even talking to Matt is like kind of hard to pinpoint without sitting out with the numbers, because you're talking about the profit and then the fees you lose between Amazon and payability, and then also the cash back or whatever, and which cards and all that stuff. But you have, I know Matt's, his is like between 10 and 12 or 10 and 14 or something. I think that's what he said on the video. What?
Yeah. He's got a lot more products than I do, so I actually have to put my margin a little bit lower in order to still be able to compete and like make money and stuff. Compared to him, just because, like I said, he's got so many, like he might actually have maybe 6 to 7 times more products than I do on his account. So so I compete a lot on cashback, credit card, cashback. My front end margin is probably, it's around 5 to 6% for the front end.
Okay.
But then on
that's not
like
as bad as I thought.
Yeah, no, it's not terrible, no. And I have a lot of like lower selling items I've noticed where I on SKU like I put a minimum margin, you know, of $2.50 or whatever I decide to put for the week, and it actually raises your margin selling, you know, a $20 item or whatever then, and having that minimum margin of $2.50 as opposed to a $100 item, you know, for example. So it's a lot more work for like VAs to fill the orders and stuff like that, but you know, you're getting a higher profit margin. And then the cashback, I mean, that's one thing people talk about cashback, and there was a recent post on under your video actually for Matt's video, or for the interview you did with Matt. Someone posted on there and was like talking about how cashback doesn't really like count or something for cash flow.
That's nonsense.
And all that. Yeah, I've gotten every single, or 90% of transactions I've done through Top Cashback, I've gotten the money, and it's been as high as 8% before.
Have you seen Matt's cashback payments?
Yeah,
like he posts them on Facebook. It's retarded.
It's like over $300,000 or something. Like is how much he's made on Top Cashback, and I mean, this month I got over 2K. Last month I got over 2K. I've got tons of like probably $20,000 worth of pending cashback payments between 2 cashback accounts. So yeah, I mean, I know I'm gonna get that money. Like I'm not worried about it. So I include that on my Amazon margin, as well as I think people who want to do drop shipping should focus on a higher volume, you know, like not worry about not getting cash back today. Look at it as a 3-month investment. Right. You know what I mean? And then the credit card cash back too, that comes at the end of the month, but I'm getting 2% on that. And I mean, I'm spending like $250,000 in products between eBay and Amazon, you know. So it's like, I mean, that's $5,000 a month, right? For credit cards. Yeah. That's huge. Yeah. So, yeah. But I would say my margin is like overall, I would say it's probably close to 10%, and then take out payability fees. Right.
And then, so this is interesting to me. So because you did eBay dropshipping and Amazon dropshipping, but you did the white labeling also. So how would you compare the 3?
Yeah, so private labeling, it's
margins, work, what you like, what you don't like.
Yeah, so with the private labeling, it was interesting. Like you have to be kind of creative about what you do. I was actually having my own listings, and then I was also shipping to like Amazon FBA under other people's listings as well. So I was, but it was the same. Yeah. It was the same product. It was the same. It was the same manufacturer. Whatever. So
and it was the same. So it was the same listing, but your product was coming from like 3 or 4 different people. That's what you're saying?
Well, it was the same exact product, but it was like a different private label seller's listing.
Right. But it was the same SKU. Like it was like
yeah. So I had my own listing, and then I was listing under his as well. So I was making probably $50 to $75 a day and I was selling like 10 to 15 units a day. Okay. And it was just frustrating because I would run out of stock, and then I would have to wait for the stock to come in. And I didn't have much capital when I first started doing that, because I kind of started doing the Amazon FBA with the eBay dropshipping. So I didn't have a ton of capital, so I was having to wait and get paid from Amazon because I couldn't do payability yet or anything. And I was having to buy like $2,000 worth of these cornhole lights, send them in. And I mean, it was good. It was a lot easier than people think it is. Like once you find that product, I also did light up shoelaces, and the margins on those were like terrible. It was basically like a product for me just to get into the game. That was that was actually my first product. I bought 75 units of, it was 4 different colors. So it was 4 different colors. It was 75 packs of 4 different colors. Packed them in and sent them into Amazon, and like I was selling them for $15, making $1 after all the fees. So it was literally for me just to figure out how this works, right? Mm-hmm. But that's what you have to do. I mean, you can't really care about the profit at first. You just have to do things to figure out, the money. But that was probably, it's fun seeing something that like you create kind of like with your listing and like you find, and it's just one product that you can focus on. Yeah. That was fun. The eBay drop shipping, it's really good if you don't have a lot of money.
Right.
Like that's the best way to get into e-commerce is eBay drop shipping. You learn so much about how the market works, and just you really start to like have faith in the process once you start doing a lot of drop shipping on eBay, right?
Once you systematically start getting sales, you're like, oh, and then once you make, at least for me, once I made money, I was allowed to play. Like I bought, I got into FBA. Like I buy, not white labeling, but I buy like overstock, like what do you call it? Like I buy pallets of stuff and ship them.
Oh yeah.
And so it's interesting. So where do you think you'll go? Do you think you'll keep scaling the eBay and Amazon? Do you think now that you have a lot of cash flow, would you also get back into like white labeling stuff?
Yeah, I think I want to keep scaling my eBay and Amazon businesses, obviously, and I'm continuously hiring VAs, and I could make a lot more money if I wanted to, if I just scaled back like my VA team and worked on the eBay stuff a little bit more, or the Amazon stuff a little bit more on my own. But I would rather just focus on just the growth and then let them do the maintenance of the accounts. So that's my focus, is always just continuously growing on the eBay and Amazon side. I want to get off payability, but I also want to get back into the private labeling, like just researching products on, I don't know if you've ever used Jungle Scout or like Unicorn Hunter. So like researching products, trying to figure that out. That might be how I treated dropshipping in 2017 like really seriously, and I learned everything I could about it. 2018, it might be private labeling.
Okay.
Who knows?
Okay.
But I mean, I'm still all in right now on dropshipping.
Yeah.
It's too good of a business. I mean, anyone who can't do this cannot do private labeling. I promise you that.
Really, it's that much harder.
What, the private labeling?
Yeah. I guess there are more variables, right? There's more creativity involved. There's a lot more variables.
Yeah, there for sure. And like the capital requirements and everything like that, like making sure that you're, constantly having products in stock or on their way to the warehouse or whatever. That's kind of why I kind of gave up on it a little bit. Or I didn't really give up on it. I just decided I should rather spend my time doing something else, like the eBay dropshipping or whatever. Because it was always like going out of stock. Then I would send it in, and then it would go out of stock again.
And that time you're not making money.
Yeah. So I admit that I had some like flaws in that business.
Right.
But I mean, it was fun. Like it was a good learning experience for sure.
And then, so one other thing, I know I'm keeping you for a while. How did you find the VAs that you use? Is it VAs that Mac trained? And I just want to ask because like, it doesn't have to be specific. Like, how do you go about training the VAs? But I know a lot of people are like, I personally hire people here in Nicaragua because I'm just lucky enough that like I can get full-time work here for like $320 a month. But how do you go about hiring them? Do you fire them regularly? How do you monitor how good they are and that type of stuff? Matt's team is insane. Like the girl that manages his team is fucking great.
Yeah. So, I mean, do you want to hear like the eBay VAs or just the Amazon VAs or both or what?
Both. Just that problem, because a lot of people who haven't scaled their business hear VAs, and then there are fucking people coming in like the honest dropshippers group posting like, you need a VA, I'll do it for you type of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I have on eBay, I have my VA team split up into what I call a growth team, a returns and tracking team, and then an order processing and customer service team. Okay. So my growth team, all they do is list.
Right.
And it's I found them on Upwork. It's one person, and then he got his sister involved and his cousin, and they're located in Pakistan.
Oh wow!
I've had them for probably 6 or 7 months, and they've done a really good job listing Walmart items and sniping, like manually sniping Walmart. Like I've been able to teach them through videos and all of that, right?
Right.
So that's how I teach my VAs. Anytime I want them to learn something new, I create a video and screen share video, and I explain to them exactly how to do it, and then they go through it. If they have questions, they ask me. These people are all really smart. Like all of my VAs, I feel like they all have a college education.
Right.
And it's crazy that the way that the arbitrage is with like the currency. It's you can hire somebody for $4 an hour, where in their country with a college education they're only making $3 an hour, and they want to work hard for you because they would not find that opportunity elsewhere.
And I'm living the arbitrage, right? Because I'm drop shipping in the US and living in a country that is retarded cheap.
Yeah, exactly. So you know exactly. Yeah. I haven't experienced it yet. Like I need to move to another country for a little bit and see.
Hopefully you'll get Matt to bring his ass down soon, because it's winter there and it's like. I was in the pool this morning.
That's so sick. That's awesome. That's awesome. But okay, so for now, now I'm with my VAs. I'm kind of trying to, make, or have them all work together a little bit more. And to do that, I'm actually only focusing on Philippines, hiring people from the Philippines. And the reason behind that is because every single person that I've hired from the Philippines, like I said, they have that college education. Mm-hmm. When I have a Skype conversation with them, it's like I'm having a Skype conversation with someone in the U.S. almost.
Yeah, they take I know that in the Philippines, English and English classes, and they're big on even the accents that they learn to speak English in.
Yeah, and it's crazy too, because you're talking to them on Skype, just typing to them at first, and they're using semicolons and in places where I would not know that it's grammatically correct to use a semicolon. All of them type and speak perfect English. Yeah, their grammar is better than mine. It's crazy.
That's fucking crazy.
I've been trying to just focus on hiring from the Philippines going forward. And that's kind of what Matt has done as well. I mean, I know his whole team's in the Philippines. And actually, the way that I've been able to have my VAs on Amazon is they've basically just been trained by Matt's VAs.
Right.
So it's been a perfect, scenario for me. And they're all great. If you treat your VAs right and, you help them when they need help and you give them bonuses when you think it's right to give them bonuses.
Right, that's what I was about.
So loyal.
That's what I was about to ask you. If you give bonuses for the guys who list and stuff, because I have one person that lists on one of my accounts and I pay him a small amount per sale. So he's motivated to do it correctly, right?
That's pretty cool. That's a good idea. Yeah. I give I give bonuses when I see that they've done a lot more work than I would expect them to do. If they've listed 200 products in a day, then sure, I'll think about giving them even $20 makes these guys so happy in these countries.
Yeah, because it costs a living like here, right? My cleaning girl when I first came was making $150 a month. She was working for me. She was working for someone before, so I sat with her. And I was just to understand, this is when I first came to Nicaragua. And I would never work for $150 a month. I can't imagine that. But when I see the culture, when I see the for instance, I have friends who have farms. Land is cheap as hell, right? I have a friend who has 300 acres that she bought for $60,000. But that's a whole other story. But I have friends with farms and they have someone working the farm for small money, but collecting all the food and they're eating off of this consistently, right? So it's just there are a lot of different culture things that I know some people thinking about VAs they're in some poor country or something. I'm living and seeing it, and it is not. Yes, we at like benefiting greatly from it, but it's not like that crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's funny too because I saw like just people's perceptions of VAs in one of these WhatsApp groups I'm in with a bunch of dropshippers. One of the guys who's new in there was like, well, don't VAs not know anything unless you train them? And it's like, dude, these people are experienced. Like they know more about eBay sometimes than the person they're working for.
Yeah, dude.
So you have to, they're people, like they're smart people who have been educated. You just have to put your trust in them. And then
they
like
have a lot of limitations. Like here in Nicaragua, a Nicaraguan PayPal is not gonna like allow them to drop ship on eBay. Like not at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I did a video with Yaris who sold like $15,000 her first month drop shipping. This is one of the girls that worked for me, right? She's doing her master's in marketing.
And she works for you.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's so nuts. I mean, and that's what people really have to get over. It's almost like an ego thing for them. Like they're afraid that they're afraid to like have a VA who's smart, or they think they're so much smarter than their VA because it's just an ego, like, you know, whatever. So they need to get over it, and they need to trust their VAs, or else you're never going to be able to scale your business by yourself. Like you have to have, and this is always something Matt preached to me, is he's got one VA who's like the head VA, right? And of like his whole.
No, I know her. I have her on Skype. Yeah, she's a beast.
Yeah, exactly. So. He trained her to be an extension of himself, like to know everything that he knows and whatever. So that's kind of how I've approached my VAs, where now I have one girl in the Philippines who actually trained the second girl I hired from the Philippines. And now the second girl from the Philippines I hired just trained the third person I hired from the Philippines. So it's like these people, like once you teach one of them, all the knowledge just gets shared down.
You can share down. And a lot of these people are like well educated and disciplined, right? Like, like I think I'm a relatively smart person, right? But like a lot of the guys that work for me are more disciplined with like their time, and like it's a weird balance. Like all the things I lack, I fit it in with people that have stuff that I don't have. You know what I mean? And and sometimes I'm weirded out even by using the term VAs, because when I see people describe VAs, it's like people, like you hiring a person. You just happen to live in another country. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like people think they're hiring like a piece of software they have to program. Like that's not how it is. That's not it. That's not it.
And even Matt's relationship with those guys, like he has a picture on his cover page or something with like they send a selfie of all of them. Yeah, dude, like it's like some real shit. Like he's hiring like 20, 30 people in another country and changing their lives too. So it's not just like I should have talked to him about that, but I guess I'll do that in another video. But all of this we're doing is not just about we make a ton of money. Yeah, you could buy Lamborghinis. Yeah, like I could do whatever I want, whenever I want. But like, even behind that, there are a lot of people with jobs and like feeding their kids, and like my assistant who works for me for 2 years, she has a kid, she's a single mother, and she's making really good money for Nicaragua, right? Like she just bought a house, and like it's interesting for me because I'm here and I'm seeing it changing their lives like insanely. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean your success is directly tied to her success now, because the better you do, and that's how my VAs are also. They actually, you know, tell me I feel like it's like my store is what a VA would like says to me, you know, that makes me feel good that they have that interest that I have in it, right? Because they first of all, they like working for me. I'm not like demanding. I don't check in on them. I don't ask like what they're doing on a daily basis because everything's running smoothly. So like there's that aspect where they can basically be a freelancer, but you know, work full time for me or whatever.
Right.
And if my account goes under, their job goes under.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotta find someone else. So I like my VA team a lot right now on both eBay and Amazon. So it's been going well. I actually have only had to fire one girl, and the girl actually used to work for eBay as a customer support in the Philippines. she just would not respond to anything that I asked of her. And I thought this was like a gold, like a.
It would be perfect. Yeah.
I thought this was like, oh my god, I can't believe I found this person. How is she not scooped up by every dropshipper on the internet right now? It was on Upwork.
That's interesting. It's interesting. Yeah. It's interesting to. Okay, so I don't know if you watch. I know you watch some of my videos. You've seen Carlos in the videos, right?
Yeah.
Like he came up from Costa Rica. He used to work for Amazon customer service in Costa Rica.
That's right.
So I think all of that.
I remember that video where you talked about that. That's crazy. So maybe he'll have more success on Amazon. Someone else, no one else.
You know what I mean? So it's interesting to see all these things come together. You know what I mean? Yeah. And see you guys using people overseas, and like I'm over here, and all of this is just interesting to me. And I hope, and a lot of these videos, I want. It's real businesses, right? It's not like you just clicking some buttons on the internet and magic is going to happen.
Yeah, that's right. You really do have to build out, a strategy and build out a team and just have it all flow well together. So it's a real business for sure, and that's what I tell people too when I'm doing this. Like I'm running a company. I'm not, and that's another thing. If you don't treat it like that, you're not going to make money like you own a company.
Exactly.
What I talked about in the other video we did, where if you treat it like a hobby, you're going to make hobby money. If you treat it like a job or a company, you're going to make that kind of money that you want to make.
Yeah, and I think when you said that, I think one of my not mistakes, but like one thing I lack in the training of the DSGD guys is that we have guys selling 100,000, 50,000, maybe 150,000, right? But like I haven't really done a lot of videos on scaling it past that. And I know that's just because I choose to, like I've sold like almost 400,000 one month, but like customer service was insane. And I've chosen to like keep mine around 100,000. And it's interesting because I'm seeing it like, yes, everyone is making money, but no one is scaling it as much as they could.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I'll take that from you guys and like try to like show an example of that more, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the only thing you have to do to scale is just keep building out your team,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think one of the things, like, one thing that holds me back from that is that I do this YouTube thing. Like, I don't think people realize how much time, like, this, like, there's some days I post 7 fucking videos, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's not just like, I'm not just, like, let me just post some videos. Like, those take actual time. Like, we sat here for almost an hour, right? And then we sat, the last video was an hour, and then Matt was an hour. So, like, so I think that is where I can't, and that's why I like interviewing you guys, because, yes, I'm a successful drop shipper, but if I continue then doing this YouTube thing, I would never be the most successful drop shipper because, like, a lot of my focus is on this. So having you guys, having the opportunity to interview you guys and show the YouTube viewers that you could scale this to insane amounts and not just listen to Mark selling like a little over $1 million a year. Like you could like Matt sold like almost 9 million, dude. Like what the fuck?
Yeah, that's a lot of money. It's wild, man. It really is wild.
Like when we posted today, people are like, "This can't be real. Like it must be photoshopped, right?" But yeah. Anyway. Let me not take you anymore, Tyler. Thanks a whole lot for your time, dude. I know you're busy. And hopefully, I don't know when we could talk again. Maybe sometime in middle January. I'm trying to get you guys to come down to Nicaragua. Like I'm trying to go too. I hit up Matt like every other week. Like, hey man, you ready to go to Nicaragua next week? Like, he's a busy guy. Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
We'll get. If you do enough convincing and I do enough convincing, I'm sure
we should get you guys down here.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Mark.
Thanks a lot, Tyler.
All right, bye.